What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with a match preview. All eyes on this one this weekend in championship terms. Leeds United versus Ipswich Town. Can Leeds United make up some of the deficit on the top two? We're going to find out. Before I get into the preview, please hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your score predictions in the comments below. Thank you to Mr. P who donated super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. Super thanks can be donated via the comment section of the video. And also thank you to all new and existing members of the channel. Really does help a lot and goes a long way into supporting me and the channel. Now listen, Daniel Farke again today preach patience and not to put too much on the game. But I don't know, man. He was a little surly in this press conference, you know, and I like a surly manager. I like it when they show a little bit of annoyance, especially when it comes to certain question. I mean, at one point, I think it was like the fourth variation of one question. He said, well, I've already answered this one 3 other times, so I'll explain it another time, and hopefully you get it this one. You know, he was getting real surly with it. You know, he also gave a little, I'd say, passionate speech, which I'll get into in just a moment. But in terms of team news, look, Stuart Dallas, I mean, when Stuart Dallas eventually retires, I mean, there's going to be one journalist that's going to be very upset. But yes, Dallas is out, and I think it's just right to assume, until told otherwise, just assume he's not going to play. You know, I think at this point, asking about Stuart Dallas is a bit redundant. Sam Byram, of course, we know is out until the new year. Jamie Shackleton's still out. So, but somebody who is coming back in, who is likely to feature, is Junior Firpo. Now, I don't know if he's going to start this game with the amount of football he hasn't played, especially in such a high stakes game. But you know, it's like taking away with one hand and giving with the other, isn't it? If we get Junior Firpo in on the left, it means Jed Spence goes to his preferred position on the right. But then it means you got Junior Firpo at left back. And I don't know, is the risk worth the reward? We may find out. He did make it clear, though, over this Christmas period that Ian Pervader's back in the mix as well, if you're interested in that. During this period, we will see a rotation of the lineup in the 4 games. He made that clear. It's going to be very interesting if he does do that. I take more Farke on his actions rather than his words at this point. So we'll see how much rotation we actually get. Did mention about Ethan Ampadu, talked about maybe he's one of the ones that need a rest in due time, even though Ethan Ampadu says he's ready to go and everything else like that. But he will listen to the science and he will listen to the data. Yeah, January transfer window, he says, of course, the focus on the next games, and that's right. Farke on the 10-point gap to second. It's something pretty unique. In many seasons, our tally would be enough to sit in the top 2. It's a testament of how well Ipswich and Leicester have done. They fully deserve to be in this position. And again, nothing wrong with what he said there, but like we've said, there's no point talking about previous seasons, and much like Daniel Farke saying there, we would be in the top 2 in any other season, but this isn't it. We're in a new season. We're in a new situation, new scenario, with 2 teams right now are just head and shoulders above everybody overall. Have to say that. No matter how impressive our front 4 stats are, you know, individually and, you know, working together, we're not getting the points that are required in order to be in touch with Ipswich or Leicester. You know, we're 10 points behind. So yeah, we need to put a dent in that, and hopefully that happens this Saturday. He was asking a question if he thinks it's going to be an interesting game like the one we had at Portman Road. Listen, we've seen it many times, haven't we? Even in Premier League, you know, a game can have all the hype in the world, and then when it's played, people play very tactically, you know, within themselves, and it comes out to be a 0-0 draw. I think, again, redundant question, but yeah, it is what it is with that one. There was something else in what he said. Yeah, I mean, he did have a little a dig, a little joke, but you know, with every joke, there's some kind of truth wrapped around it. Talking about the referees being against referees at this point in time, and this was the one that as soon as he said it, I thought of this straight away, and I want to know if you thought the same thing as well. He also said, in his view, Leeds haven't picked up a single lucky point so far. Thinks they've been unlucky to lose quite a few. Well, the one that came to mind straight away for me, people, was when Holt hit the post from about 3 yards out. That, to me, is lucky. I don't know what Daniel Farke may class that as. Maybe he's forgotten about that one. But when Hull City hit the post from what seemed to be an unmissable position, that's luck. That's you creating luck. That's your luck that you've been given for that game. So maybe there's other instances you guys can think of, but as soon as he said that, that popped in my head straight away. So I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on that one. He then went into this very impassioned rant, I would say, little war cry, if you will, rallying cry, maybe. That usually speaks to Leeds fans, because on the whole, a lot of Leeds fans are passion merchants. Let's be real. When it comes to talent over working hard, a lot of Leeds fans will take the hard working player over a genuinely talented player. But Daniel Farke went into a eulogy about his growing love for the club and fans. He's never felt more in love with his players after the two results that we didn't get wins in, which is, I mean, I don't know that if we was talking about another manager saying about their club and their team, we'd probably call that loser talk if we're being real. He was all talking about we're not perfect, but we're united and we play with heart. Not one point we have won the season has been lucky, and we've already spoken about that. But he was talking about the imperfections of the team, like the goal conceded against Coventry, no corners conceded, no this and that, the one cross. Yes, maybe Jed could get closer. Maybe Archie could jump with his man. Maybe Pascal should be with his man. Maybe Melia could be more dominant. So he's thought about it, people. He's definitely thought about it and analyzed the goal conceded. But the whole speech, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Jesse Marsh. And just when Jesse Marsh, if you can recall that, if you can remember through all of his passionate speeches and motivational speeches, when Jesse Marsh talks about him falling in love with the club. And for me, that's never a good thing. I think that you should always just keep that separate. It's easy though. The Leeds fans are very infectious. When you walk around Leeds and you see all the Leeds shirts. I know as a fan myself, when I go to Leeds and see the shirts, I'm like, this is lovely. This is what I want to see. So you can only imagine if you're the manager and you've got Leeds fans talking to you, just talk about how great the club is, how much they love the club. And you can imagine how much that can infect a manager. And it's happened many, many times, people, many, many times. Daniel Farke won't be the last manager that says this very thing. But when it happened with Jesse Marsh, we then saw Jesse Marsh make decisions that he would never have made before. He wasn't making at his previous clubs. He even said that, during his time at Leeds, and then afterwards where he said, I started to lead more with my heart than my head. And I just hope Danny Farke doesn't run into that trap. It's all well and good getting connected with the club. Nothing wrong with that. But just try and keep the emotion away from your decision making, because if you start to then do what every fan wants you to do, that's when you also go down a slippery path. But it was a decent enough speech, but I don't know what made him bubble up to get to that point. Maybe he's been reading or hearing. He does strike me as the kind of manager that reads and listens to a lot of criticism and praise to go with it as well. So I just wonder if over the last week, with the results against Sunderland and then Coventry, where he's just decided to go, what, we're in this together, it's us against the world. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on the speech anyway. But yeah, that was really the press conference. There wasn't really a whole lot else in terms of any interesting news. Again, and as well, and I'm not going to give him any stick for not talking about transfers, because imagine he comes out now and says, you know what, we do need a left back, so we will be shopping for a left back in January. Well, then every club knows that they can charge even more money for a left back, where if we go in with our cards close to our chest, that's the best way to operate in the transfer market. You should never come out and say we are desperate for a left back. Never, never. So I'm with that. I'm with keeping it to you, cards close to your chest, but then do the business by the start of the transfer window. I've said that in the previous stream, and I maintain that today. So this is what we're up against in terms of Ipswich Town. They've done brilliantly. Kieran McKenna's done excellent there. We're talking here one blip. We got a draw in there, but they've got draws in there. But this one blip here, it just sets you back so far. Leicester City are just running away with it right now. They're just unbelievable. To be fair, what Leicester City are doing is unbelievable. But Ipswich Town, to their credit, newly promoted from League One, they're doing excellent work as well. They're putting teams away. They're playing with a freshness. They're playing with pace, and we've got to worry about that. We've got to make sure that we handle that this weekend. It was a close affair at Portman Road. We come out with the win, but we need to achieve that double in terms of just knocking them off their perch a little bit. You already heard last week Wes Burns after they drew against Norwich. Yeah, it's just another game. Yeah, Leeds United, that will just be another game as well. We need to get these guys nervous, because right now they're playing with that confidence where we're rolling with the punches. We may have had a couple draws before, but now we're back on a winning run. They are very, very, very confident. And even coming to Elland Road, I don't see these guys being like other teams where they just sit back. I think that they know that any result, barring the Leeds win, is a great result for Ipswich Town. It's a brilliant result for them. So in order to get the most out of this game, it's going to be on us, not to start slow, not to start pedestrian. If something needs changing during the game, if it's something is clearly not working, I urge Daniel Farke, please change it before the 80th, before the 69th minute, and then the 79th minute, as he loves to do. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how we approach this game. Do we get Jed Spence at right back, Firpo on the left? Is there going to be a possible change of personnel in the team at the back, just to make sure that we're a little bit more solid than we have been in recent games, where we've been a little bit susceptible? Because it's all well and good saying we conceded the one chance and then it goes in. That's how you are at top level football. We're one of the better teams, so we're not going to concede a bunch of chances. But it's about you being turned on, switched on for when that chance does come, and avoiding conceding a goal. And we haven't done that in the past couple of games. So it's going to be interesting how we approach this game. For score predictions, I'm going to go with a draw. I can't shake it. I don't see us winning the game. To see us losing it, it would be a real hammer blow, because it's all well and good saying we're not 43 games in and everything else like that, but momentum is a big thing in football, and we have to stop their momentum, and then we have to get back on a roll ourselves. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, although I really hope I'm wrong with this and that we get the full 3 points. So let me know your score predictions below. Yeah, I mean, that will be it for the preview. It's a huge game, man. It's a huge game, and for that I will be here live and direct. So please turn on your notification bell so you know when I'm going live. It's going to be a long day with this one. Huge day for this one. So yeah, tune in to the channel. I will be here whenever I will be. But yes, please hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And if you already have turned on the notification bell and you're not getting the notifications, just click the bell off and click it back on again. That should, you know, renew the notifications coming through. I know it sounds very simple, but that does work on YouTube as well, to get notifications back on if you're not receiving them. So yes, before you go, people, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your score predictions, and I will see you Saturday for this big game. Peace out, people.